Today is the 12th of July, and Andrew's mopping the floor. How come you're mopping the floor?
Oh, because I think it probably hasn't been mopped in decades. We pulled up, we spent about a week or two pulling up, the carpet, the padding, the tack strips, and then scraping this old adhesive that was left behind. Most of it came up with scrapers, but a little of it didn't. If you pan over here, you'll see these are basically what's left behind of old, like tar-based, bitumen-based adhesive. At one point, this whole floor was covered with linoleum tile or sheet linoleum, and this is the adhesive that was left behind. Mm-hmm. So what I'm doing today is I'm just taking some water, and I'm giving this old floor a mop, and then what I do is I come up behind it. I've got a whole bunch of old newspapers, which I'm using as paper towels.
Right.
And we're just wiping it up afterward to kind of take up some of the dirt. What happens is when you apply water to what's left of this old adhesive stains, it kind of turns into mud.
Right.
So you have to wipe it up. So I've done about maybe a 6 by 7 foot square here. So I'm just going to go over it. We already wiped up some of this, but mostly we were just kind of pushing it around. So I mopped it again. Now I'll probably have to mop each section 2 or 3 times, to get the dirt and the mud and the muck up off the floor. But I was inspired to do it about 2 days ago. This window, we don't have any glass in this window, and there was a rainstorm pouring rain in, and so I grabbed this mop and I just used the rainwater to mop the floor. And after mopping it and rinsing it and wringing out the mop and basically coming back in and mopping it about 3 or 4 times, the floor just became a lot cleaner. So that's what we're doing today. They're tearing up the street outside, which is making a lot of noise. So this was a good day to move all the furniture in the front half of the front room, and then we got the furniture moved in the other part of the apartment. So anyway, I'm gonna let this soak back in here. And I'm just going to use this. I'm just going to start cleaning this up. Yeah. See, what happens is when I sop up the water with the newspaper, I can see a little bit of the dirt and the mud.
Mm-hmm.
So you could just bring me that box of wadded up newspapers and just set it down next to me, because I think I'm going to end up using all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I have to get some more from downstairs.
Yeah, well, we got hundreds of pages of newspapers downstairs.
Okay. Intermission. This is the first step, half complete. Half the floor is done. In the very corner, you can see it is rotten because of the intrusion of water.
Yeah, we have to replace those floorboards in the corner.
Yeah.
About maybe a 1 foot by 2 foot section.
Okay. Step 1, stage 2. Now Andrew's mopping the part in between the window and the middle of the room. And he has to move a bucket.
Oh, hi.
Hi. This priest have to come with the towels and wipe up the water. Ciao. Andrew's wadding up papers.
Oh, hi, Eddie.
Hi. Oh, look, there's a parade of homes. Let's go out home shopping.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
Tampa Bay.
That's from Tampa. This is
Oh, 900 miles, man.
yeah. Well, you know, when Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans, you and I relocated to the Tampa Bay area, and we found an apartment in a little town called Dade City, Florida, which is about 30 miles northeast of Tampa. And so we used to get the Tampa Tribune and the St. Petersburg Times, and this was a stack of papers I found in an old moving box that I never got rid of. So today we're mopping up a lot of the dirt and the old like muddy adhesive dirt on the floor. And we're doing it in phases. So one of the steps is to wipe it up as we mop with water. And we sort of loosen the dirt. We then have to wipe it up with paper. Mm-hmm. So I'm basically taking pages of broadsheet newsprint and I'm wadding it up into handfuls that we can use.
Yeah, it doesn't work with tabloids.
Well, I guess it could work with tabloids, but
they'll be like teeny.
Yeah, but this, we find this makes reasonably well functioning paper to wipe up the muck that we're mopping up. The trouble with this step of the renovation is that, you know, we pulled up carpeting, padding, you know, bits of linoleum, nails, tacks, and what we found underneath was you know, this beautiful wood floor, but it's been neglected and abused a bit. It's got, you know, old paint from when they painted the walls and they didn't use a drop cloth. It also has leftover linoleum adhesive stuck to the floor, and that adhesive will come up with water, but, you know, the thing is when you add water to it, it kind of turns into a mud, and and the mop just ends up pushing it around. Mm-hmm. So we need something to basically dry it up with. Mm-hmm. And so we have these old newspapers, and what I do is I take a sheet, I just wad it up, I put it in this box, and that way we have, that makes it easier to grab by the handful, and to wipe up.
I saw a headline, he finds fame in Jesus' name.
Oh, brother. You know, the Tampa Tribune and the St. Petersburg Times, I'll say this, they were better newspapers than the Times-Picayune. Although the Times-Picayune became a really good newspaper like the first year after Katrina. Yeah. And I think that's because there were like a lot of visiting press people who came down here right after Katrina. And then about a year after Katrina, sometime in 2006 or 2007, they all just left, I guess. Yeah. And the tone of the Times-Picayune just became very, very sort of advertising based. And all the stories were just press releases issued by companies, you know, and a lot of the articles were just thinly veiled advertising for products. And the paper became a lot less informative.
Yes.
And, you know, and as a newspaper, it's been dying slowly but steadily over the last 5 or 10 years, and it's been rapidly declining in the last 3 years. And so.
Okay.
Oh, that's beautiful, Eddie.
All done.
Yeah. Okay, we're done with phase one. We basically did this is a 13-foot by 20-foot room, and we did we're doing up to this board here, which is in the floor. We think it may have there may have been a wall here at one time. It corresponds with this arch in the ceiling. So we basically cleaned up to an area just beyond that floorboard, and so we cleaned this basically just with water, you know, just to take up as much loose dirt and muck. And so we're going to break for lunch now, and after lunch we're going to come back and we're going to mop and wipe this up with Murphy's oil soap and hot water and see what happens. Okay.
All right, this should be good. Yay!
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, I'm doing a section at a time.
Mm-hmm.
I just mopped with very hot water and Murphy's oil soap in the bucket.
Yes.
I got this.
You
I
did a
just
very
mopped this
large
section.
section.
I'll show you what I'm doing. I soak the mop.
Yes.
I wring it out just a little bit. I want to keep it heavy with water.
Right.
And then I take this sopping mop with hot water and Murphy's oil soap, and I basically map out a section, about like this. And I'm using the hot water and the mop to go back and forth and to scrub what I can. You know, I'm trying to get up what I can off the floor.
Right.
And it does work. You know, I can see a few spots are coming up. You know, spots of the sort of brownish dirt that was left behind by the old linoleum adhesive. That's coming up fairly well. So what I'm doing is then I go back over here and I soak this in the hot water. And then I pull up and now I wring it all the way out. And I wring it out as much as I can. And then I basically go back and I sop up what I just put down there.
Oh, okay.
And so this takes some of it up. And after every few strokes, I turn the mop about a quarter turn. And this way I take up a lot of that water. And some of the dirt comes up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the water is dirty.
The water's getting pretty dirty, so I'm gonna. Hi.
Hi.
I'm down to the last third of this big area here.
Oh
So,
yeah, I can see where.
Yeah, from about here over. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here because there's a lot of like bits of old linoleum adhesive still here. You can kind of see it.
Yeah, it's really crappy.
Yeah, it is. So I'm going to loosen this up. I've been letting this drain in here. I tightened it up and let it drain. Now I've got boiling hot water and Murphy's oil soap in here. So this is going to be a nice.
Oh, I can see steam coming out.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be nice and clean. Okay, it's nice and soapy. And I'm going to let a little bit drain, but I'm going to keep it pretty wet.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just sop it in here. This is
Sop it in, glop it in.
yeah, because this is a part of the floor that's pretty dirty. And I'm going to see about how much of it comes up. What I found is I have to wet it, I have to get it pretty wet, and then I come back over it and then, mop it. Wow. Oh, this is, okay.
Looks like cedar.
It does look like cedar. I believe that the wood here is cypress that was stained at some point with a red cedar stain.
Yeah.
Because all the woodwork at one point was red cedar woodwork. And I think that was installed in the 1950s. That is the woodwork. The floor, I believe, is original to the house. Okay, this looks like it's starting to get pretty clean. I mean, relatively clean. This is a pretty rough floor. Okay. I'll put this in here. Okay, what I'm going to do now I'm going to wring this out. I'm going to bring this back, and now I'm going to sop up some of this water.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to turn the mop every few strokes. I'll just turn the mop.
And here it goes, thud.
Yeah.
We need to go and get shimmers, some floor wax, and a dessert topping.
Dessert topping. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay, that's the first side. So I'm just going to repeat that into the corner, and then I think that'll be enough for today.
Okie doke.
Because we got quite a bit
Yeah.
today. Okay. Thank you, Eddie. Let's see. And there's Eddie on his hands and knees.
God, awesome.
Yeah, he's working on the worst part of the floor.
This part is taken out.
We got a box of dry, wadded up newspapers, and what Eddie is, after I go in and mop, Eddie comes in and wipes up. He wipes up the floor with the newspapers to sop up as much of the dirt as possible, and then we throw the soppy newspapers in the tall kitchen wastebasket.
I hate you, stupid floor. I hate you, stupid papers.
Eddie's not having too much fun, but you're almost dead. You're right up, Eddie. You're right up to the end. This is all we're going to do today.
Good.
Yeah, because I'm going to pan back. Okay, so basically we cleaned the front half of this large room. The floor still needs a lot of work, but now it's clean, or relatively clean. We cleaned it first with just some soap and water, and that took up a lot of the dirt. And then the second time around, we mopped and sopped it up again with boiling hot water and Murphy's oil soap for wooden floors. And so,
We cut off the street.
yeah, and so there we are. And the other half of the room is where we have all the stuff. We're gonna have to move the dining table, chairs, and parts of the portable kitchen back here. It's gonna have to come back and be put back in place here. We have the dining room in here. We got a chair in the corner and a bucket in the very corner to catch water. Okay, need to put my bedside table, which is somewhere. My bedside table has to go back on my side of the bed. Okay, but for now we're finishing up all that mopping and cleaning of this poor old floor, which is a beautiful wood floor, but it's just suffered from a lot of abuse and neglect. So we're doing what we can to take care of it and to prepare it to be stripped and sanded and refinished at some point. Okay.